round between Oops, the Tough Giraffes, and GoHard. Oops is going to be defending, and GoHard's going to be attacking. And Mojo, your prediction, it might come true.
It does look like they will try to aggressively play it over the middle, especially since GoHard has artillery piece, and it's gonna be a crash there. And GoHard actually has a medium completely away. If Oops presses hard enough, they might just crash them.
Well, Oops going on the hill here with 4 tanks. Insane is taking the brunt of the damage. Minus 1.4. He survives, though, which is the important factor. Luckily enough, so Oops have the hill control now, but what does GoHard do against this? Because it seemed like they set up, they wanted Oops to take the hill even.
It does look like they just deliberately gave it away so they would do some damage and they're gonna fall away down. Look at the damage Camille is taking. Insane is already down.
Insane got connected by Farchik from that E1 position. We've seen him play it before. Now Milosh is in the Kranwagen pushing forward, but even he is taking damage. Skarium is now forced to drop off, but the damage Oops have taken is significant.
Failware is still there in the problem, but he is doing the work for his team. It doesn't even matter if he dies now, because they traded him by far. And the rest of the Oops, they're just dying. They're melting away.
They're already lost. Milosh Decha isn't very much better. He goes down towards the one-shot, the dead zone, and Spoink from the hill, trying to make a difference. But Oops, at this point, already 3,000 down, and Coca collapsed from the island, and Annihilator from the corner removes Spoink from the hill as well. 3 tanks down now from Oops with Decha on a slither of hell. This is not the opening they were looking for.
No, this is a disaster, and it's a defense on Mines. I mean, Mines, after all, is still a defensive map, no matter what happens, and they have only 3 guys standing down, and it's not gonna be for long.
It's not going to be for long indeed, as Annihilator and the Ice Force pushing full HPs off. Farch tunes in with an RT shot as well, as Maya cleans up Camille and the dead zone. He's the last man standing against 6 tanks from GoHard. And it did seem like GoHard just wanted them to take the hill because they had the crossfires ready.
It was obviously the plan. They just gave it to Oops as soon as they saw them. It might have been even the call on the spot when they saw the lineup from Oops. Like, just let it have it, and one of the positions they had, this was it.
Well, there we go. Skarium picks up the dead zone, and that's 1-0 for GoHard very, very quickly. And if it goes to tiebreaker, we can already certainly say that it will be GoHard picking the side.
2 minutes, 15 seconds. That's quite a short round for
By the way,
something like this.
GoHard has played a similar setup to this multiple times, actually. I mean, with my guy in the back line and Zafar on the island, this is GoHard's standard opening even on Mines.
Unbelievable is that Oops actually received so much damage, and they had nothing to show for it. Like, they lost almost entire HP on Insane, then they kept peeking. Camille took so much damage. Insane lost that last leader of 200, 300 HP he had. And all the other guys, they tried to apply pressure on Failware, who was proxy spotting them, and they were just getting shot from all over the place. I mean, it looked like they really are completely unprepared for any kind of answer on that crossfire. I'm
not sure if they watched the previous matches from GoHard, because the setup, it was similar, if not exactly the same. Zafar going to the island, he's done it before. The Gunrunners match comes to mind, and he did damage from there as well. Insane getting killed from the island really shouldn't happen. And look at the first 5 damage dealers here. The first page is pretty much just GoHard. Milan, the only one from Oops to even climb into that top 7.
Well, good for Nile, because he's on a test here by, I think, most of the caster. Will he stay in our team, or is he going to the junkyard of players who are not performing? So, well done, Nile, especially for an IS-4 tank. I mean, that's a brutal tank when you put him, and he can really bounce a lot, and he can apply damage on those short distances quite easily.
It just... Oops needed to trade HP for every single step of the way. Milosh tried to go aggressive. We saw the damage he took. Decha, the same thing. They wanted to kill Failware, but there was just too much covering fire. There was covering fire from the island, from the A5 position, from RT, from Nile, from Kaizu. They just literally drove into the crossfire.
The problem was, like, they already lost 1 tank, and they lost positions, and I don't think they even timed well how to press on Failware, because they pressed first from the top of the hill. Why? I don't know. I mean, they were all spotted, so they had no means how to peek and do anything there. There was people from island ready to shoot on them, and it was really obvious how will it end up. I don't get it.
Well, that was the first round done. Oops. Let's hope they stay calm and can focus on the next round, because losing a round like this, I know it's the first round, but in this manner, it wasn't even close, and they know this. They know this just as well as we do, that they got completely outplayed.
I just hope that they can calm, but that is not their really big treat. That's the problem. If they lose the next round, and they've been losing a lot of matches lately, this just might go spiral downhill immediately.
Well, I know from previous experience that Edzun can be quite an emotional person, so can be insane. So, well, let's find out in the second round as we take a look at the lineups from both these teams coming out on the second half of Mainz here.
Let's see a rather slower setup here by GoHard, but it still doesn't mean that they cannot push with this. This can be also a late push by GoHard with so many heavies. They have 4 of them, GoHard to cover the start and a Bachat and a tier 9 Bachat. While Oops is playing with rather light setup here.
No Artie from Oops. You think this is going to work out for them in the long run?
They want to brawl, definitely. So they might outmaneuver GoHard here, but those 2 IS-4s, it does take time to deal with them.
Yeah, and especially the Skoda TVP, tier 9 Bacha will struggle with that IS-4 very, very much.
I'm really interested. If GoHard plays slow, will they try to boost one of the Bachats for safety position?
Let's find out as we get into the second half here on Mainz. GoHard currently leading 1-0 after dominating the first round. Oops, need to pick up this one, not to lose the first map, and they're going to go straight for the Hell Mojo. And GoHard, what are they setting up for?
GoHard, it does look like they're going to play the slower play. Now, we know that most of the teams need to position toward the village, so they would control it, but they're at the moment sending only Maga. Maga will probably go behind that position, behind the house, where the bush is, so they could watch the boost. Coca-Collapse is on the positions behind the rocks on H4. That's rather standard when you are camping, especially when there is no RT. And there you go, Maga is positioned there. Failware is spotting from the bush below the hill, so he cannot get proxy spotted where he is, but he can have a good vision and he can quickly help his teammates.
Look at his heavy defense here from GoHard. I mean, 2 IS-4s towards the eastern side. That's a lot of beef, as Insane takes the first connection there on his Bacha, but look at that beefy lineup. I mean, 2 IS-4s on the eastern side. Scarium started off in K4, but now crossed onto the island, and getting a WZ killed on the island is going to be extremely hard, because if he can get into position, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, this is something we haven't seen before, honestly. And the problem for Oops is that actually Scarium got there unspotted. So he got there completely unchallenged.
They don't even know he's there. Yeah, that's a big factor.
He is going to be a major problem if they start to push there.
And even then, if he plays together with Safar, I mean, maybe if he can get spotted here. Algo got spotted. Needs to be careful.
Oh my god, he's peeking there and he thinks no one sees him.
Just about to say, but Zafar could even shield most of Scarium's tank if they push in. I mean, but Zafar's actually going to back off now, and it's going to be so tough to deal with that WZ, because obviously when they push 1-2 line, they're not going to have heat loaded.
He is going to pen at least 3 shells when they push, and that's like potential more than 1200 damage.
Yeah, that's pretty much a dead tank. I mean, 1 on the crossing, the second, yeah, 3 shots at least, maybe even more if they bounce some shots off of him. And, well, I mean, I said double ice from the eastern side. It's Nile and Magas. It's a 1-1-3 and nice 4, but still, point stands. It's going to be so hard to dig this out.
Especially since they don't have an artillery piece.
Yeah, I don't understand the choice behind not picking an RD, as Algo took a big connection there. Was that from Coca Collapse?
I actually didn't see it because it happened while we were on the other side.
Could be Scarium as well. Any of the heavies can roll that HP.
I don't think it was Karim because he would just give away his position.
Well, Scarium is actually...
He's spotted now.
He's spotted. He was holding the corner, so could have been him. But, oof. 530. Melan. That's gotta hurt.
That's a big roll. That's a big roll for a gun that does average of 440.
Yeah, 440. Getting hit for 530. Need to use your repair kit because your gun gets damaged. I mean, it just adds up. Look at the HP deficit already here for Oops. They have 11k left just about.
3.5k.
GoHard on 14,000. And no RT.
3.5k. How will you guys dig this out? I mean, in one end, it might end up something like GRS solution, YOLO, and it works out. but it's going to be really hard.
When GRS, YOLO, there was less tanks under the hill. There's Nile and Phil, where there's a Bacha there as well.
There was also Kranwagen who couldn't turn the turret. A lot of other possibilities, but here we have Kaizu with his grille positioned well, 2 constant shooters, a clipper behind. It's a big crossfire there.
I'm gonna have to see how Oops approaches. They have 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. What would you do if you were Oops, Mojo?
If they manage to push Nile out, which is something the teams do in a 90% of time, they might have a chance, but pushing Nile out will just make a sturdier rotation here from the GoHard.
Milosh is now crossing in his 1-1-3 towards the eastern side. He'll probably go play an E0 and try to play against Nile, but he can also try to blind shot Maga. He's spotted now, he needs to be careful, because Kaizu can always make a connection towards him. Let's see. Milosh here, playing it safe, playing it smart. Needs to get him spotted before he crosses over. Needs to be careful not to... Okay, and Mojo, bust out your crayons.
What usually players do, they put a heavy like this, and they will try to fire on Nile with HE, with any kind of shells they can pen with. So when they establish this position with heavy tank, one of the Bachats will try to go, and establish his position in this area. If he does that, he will be able to fire on those tanks down, and they'll have advantage, and they can then push on Maga behind this house here, position themselves safe to clip him out, and then establish their presence on the map and keep pushing towards the base while shooting on Kaizo, and so on. But of course, that all evolves if they can push Nile back, if they can climb the Bachat for free, and so on. As we can see, GoHard is well positioned to deal with both sides of the maps. They have a lot of tanks that can help each other. You have Coca-Cola's, even he can shoot from those angles when they're pushed, and they still don't know where he is. You have Failware, they don't know where Failware is. He has entire clip if someone pushes. He's just waiting for that. You can see it now. Look at the angles now. If a spotter is... Oh, Spoink, oh my dear.
Spoink's going to try and climb here. He takes 2 connections for the way up. Insane takes 1 as well. So 1.2k damage shaved off of those 2 Bachas. Let's see if they take any more to try and get up here. Obviously, GoHard does not have RT available to them. A miss from Annihilator. So Spoink will get up safely. Kaizu is also dropping off then. GoHard, going to counter push the hill.
It was a good climb here. Yes, I think they're gathering up for the climb on a hill. We need to see will Deha, Mayland, and Algo and Deadzone, are they going to be able to do some damage?
Well, so far just felt Mayland and Deha pretty badly, but now they're on reload. Failware, Kaizu, and everybody else from GoHard pushing the hill now. Let's see if they can push them off. The Deadzone and Algo will be holding there. Tier 10, Tier 9 batch, and Failware is taking a ton of damage, but they will push Mayland off. And now GoHard needs to make this commitment because they're starting to lose out a little bit on HP here. Mayland is reloaded. He might get Failware. He needs 2 more. Failware is forced to drop off now. Mayland might still get the kill, and GoHard, they need to be careful.
They are now actually in a problem here because also Milosh is coming there. I mean, Failware is on one shot. He's going to get finished by Deha. The push was not strong enough. Yes, they have the HP. They have still the HP advantage, but it's melting quickly.
Annihilator's now getting pushed on from 2 sides. The Deadzone and Algo from either side. This push from GoHard is not working out that well. They still have the HP, but they're not doing much with it. Annihilator is forced to look left, look right. Coca-Cola still trying to make a difference in his tank, but there's still Deha, there's still Mayland, and these TVPs can keep putting out the damage.
I was expecting much more from the GoHard rotation. Zafarchik died there horribly, like without doing anything to help out his team. I mean, he was the guy who would be able to press Mayland and probably kill him from the island if he didn't show himself so early. That was a nonsense.
Well, GoHard still have 5 tanks left alive, but Coca-Cola and Maga have all of the HP. They need to get into the fight here because once Spoink and Insane make a rotation, they will be able to help. Annihilator really is in trouble here in that 1-1-3.
2 minutes and 39 seconds and the clock is still ticking. Health is still on the side of the GoHard, but as we said, it's going rapidly. Oh my god, look at Scarim. He's getting annihilated by the guys from the hill.
Coca-Cola didn't fare much better. He drove into a crossfire between Deha, Mayland, and Milosh. They lose Nile, they lose Skarium. It's just Kaizu and Maga. And Oops, even though being down so much HP, hold on with 6 tanks left alive.
I don't think the calls were the best here for the GoHard, especially the push on a hill, yes, but how it was done, it was really chaotic, and I don't know what was Zafarchik doing. He knew that TVP was waiting there on the 3 line. That's so standard position that you can just pin him down there whenever anyone plays.
He got engine damage, he got tracked, he got engine knocked out. I think he went too early. He needs to wait for his hill push to come in and then push 1-2, and then he can clip the Skoda from behind, the TVP from behind. I think that really was the crucial factor.
You want to leave that TVP maybe to shoot on heavy tanks. They will soak up some damage. They're meant for that. And then you come with a medium tank, a fast tank. He can pick up Mayland for free. Deha will be in a problem because he will have nowhere to run. Scarim is coming from the back. What will the guys from the hill do then?
Nothing. If Zafar stays alive and comes 1-2 later, him and Failware pick up Mayland in the TVP almost instantly, and then Deha is stuck on the corner. Mayland doesn't do any damage towards Nile or such, and the 1-2 line kills Deha. They come from behind. He only has 3 shots. I think Zafar really was the crucial factor in this round.
Let us see what the stats say, because I'm really interested what's the damage done. I'm pretty sure Zafar did nothing.
Well, Deja did a lot in his Skoda. I mean,
That was a good snipe there.
him, Mailand, and Algo picked up 5 kills between each other on that hill.
That's quite a lot. Algo was also situated on the hill. He was not up on a mountain. Deja was holding the back position,
Yeah, the corner.
covering Mayland, and Mayland was on that little hill. Like, this is a really, really strange play here coming from GoHard. I mean, both of these teams are actually prone to the same kind of mistakes. They sometimes just play too fast, and one of them makes big mistakes. We've seen, you said already, when GoHard played against Esuba on steps last time, they almost lost. They played so aggressive that took them too far. They barely returned to the round. And we've seen Oops many times do that. Also in their last match when they pushed Prokhorovka. They pushed over the ridge. They thought they have an advantage, and a lot of them died. Like, you can check out those matches, guys, and you will see. Especially, like, they play super aggressive, but not always the best thought.
You know, and Zafar dying there with just 1 shot of damage, that was really...
He could have actually won the round
yes.
if he played patient. But
He
what
didn't.
can you
He
do?
was too early, and
He was probably pinging an overall map. You do this,
Yep.
you do this, but mate, then park your tank, you know, park it and then do stuff.
well, rip.
Not good multitasker there.
Well, it's 1-1 though, and Oops swing back after that disastrous first round and moving on to Cliff. Let's see the tanks they have chosen to play here. Mojo, anything special?
Well, interesting. There is no RT in neither of these teams. So that meta is pretty much behind, I hope, maybe. We have 6 batches here for Oops, 2 tier 9 and 4 tier 10 and 1 TVP. So there is a lot of things they can do with this. They can pressure the middle. We've seen them do something like that. It wasn't the best one. Kazna actually annihilated them when they did it. Or they can maybe approach slower and play over the big hill. GoHard, on the other hand, rather standard. They just don't have a T49. They prefer to play with Ru. This might be very interesting because they might actually use it differently.
I have to see how both these teams play. Yeah, RU251, completely different dynamic than the T49. Now, Mojo, if you had to give it to someone, who would you do it to?
In this, I would say maybe Oops.
Well, Mojo, let's find out as we're going to move into our second map here between Oops and GoHard. It's going to be Cliff.
Cliff, the most dynamic map in the league. Battles on Cliff always turn into desperate double-edged fights. Teams start from the same spots as they do in standard battles. The first base is located near the defender's spawn point, and the second is at the bottom of the hill. Sometimes teams split their forces and send several tanks through the 1-2 line to the left of the small hill, but usually both teams play at the center. The attacking team can send one of the tanks up to the lighthouse or behind it. Fast and quick-firing vehicles are better suited for this map, mainly medium tanks, including tanks equipped with autoloaders.
So first map down, and both these teams currently 1-1. Oops going to be attacking. GoHard going to be defending, and Mojo, Oops is moving in a ball of death, but so is GoHard kind of.
Yes, Zafarchik is still spotting down like he was a T49, but he's faster and he has better sniping gun. If there is a fight there, Oops is going there, but I think they will just try to climb the mountain. Why I think that Oops might pick up this round, because they still have that one bigger gun. So if they manage to position their tanks well, they will have one better hitter than Zafarchik is.
Mojo, we're going to have a fight here almost instantly between these two teams, it seems like. And I think this would actually be almost... Let's wait. Let's wait a little bit and see what happens, because they're just spotting each other out. Maga and Skyrim are here.
We need to see will Oops actually manage to climb people up on a mountain on time. We already commented and you said that Ding actually lost this conflict against Kazna on Cliff because Breakneck was late on climbing. So now we have Milos going up if he's on time to help his teammates so they can actually overrun the positions of GoHard. We need to see that.
Maga and Skyrim really need to get out of this position. There's just too many tanks from Oops here. Even Algo going to support, and I don't know how long they're going to be able to hold this.
This is really strange and peculiar play. Like, there is a lot of tanks from Oops, but they still don't hold the critical position. Failware there. He's in decent position to do the damage all the time. There you go. Milos is starting to chip in on Skyrim.
Yeah, but he's getting locked down, I think, from Failware and the TVP from Coca collapse in the back lines.
And Mayland is still covering Milos, so if Failware actually pushes him, he is going to pay the price. But same, we have Coca-Cola covering their teammates. Rather good play by both teams. We need to see who will actually be more impatient.
Maga and Skyrim are now both on reload. It's crucial to see how the timing works out if Oops decide to go for the push, because Mayland is going to be joining them, and I think they're going to be pushing soon, Mojo.
Then Algo and Milos will try to take out Failware, and deal with any kind of damage from Coca-Collapse, while the rest of the tanks from Oops will try to press on these lower guys. And they know that they cannot sustain the fight while they're reloading, so that's why they're pulling back.
Perfect timing almost, it's fair to say, because we could see the amount of tanks from Oops massed up in that corner. Mailand now going to be going towards the back lines here, just covering off. And so far, GoHard getting the better of this exchange, though.
I like when Mailand is in backline because that means he'll do damage. And I need him to do damage.
Now, what does Oops do to move out of this situation? Because GoHard have pretty strong hill presence here, and they're very bunched up. They can support each other very well.
Yeah, Oops now actually cannot push anymore around the corner. That would be pure suicide. They'll have to pull back and find another approach. That will probably be around the 1-2 line.
Mailand is now pushing up towards the rest of his team as well. Is this going to be the move?
Oh, it's going to be super risky and super aggressive if they do it like this. So that will mean they will have to pre-aim position of Coca-Collapse in advance, and the other guys going around will have to super focus fire on the guys below
Well,
the
I
hill.
think it's the perfect time almost to listen into the team speak from Oops because they're gearing up for the push.
They're out of here. Stay safe. Stay safe. Stay safe. They're out of here. They're out of here.
DP -2.
-2, yeah. -3.
Valorant.
Can you spot the TVP? Aim the
No.
TVP.
We cannot. We can. Guys, triple Scarian.
Go, go, go.
Yes, yes.
It's batch out on the...
I'm aiming at Scarian.
Below you 500.
Nice. Get safe, guys. Stay safe. Watch it from behind now.
Just
Can we overmatch this?
I cannot.
Oh,
I
I'm
cannot
burning.
die. Can
Scarian
you
is
kill
shooting.
Kaizo? Can you kill Kaizo?
I'll go.
I'll go get safe.
TVP -2.
We
Again.
cannot.
Guys who is speaking like an idiot, Myland. Guys, can we get out of here with our bad
JP
chats?
is reloading.
We need to go back. We cannot stay here.
I didn't
Guys,
shoot
can we get back and just push onto line at the moment? Like they have the guys there.
I'm blind shooting up the TVP position.
Careful with the vegetables when you go back. I'm gonna stay in cover with the TVP middle.
I missed all of my shots, I'm loading.
What did you say?
I blind fired the TVP position up.
We need to watch out so they don't smile at them when we're going back here.
Myland, you need to just push with us on the 2 line. Well,
Yeah.
I will stay because I'm low HP, but you have to go with them.
Oh, there we go.
I'm
It's
spotted,
actually
I'm
spotted,
spotted,
right?
I'm spotted.
Yeah, they're ready in for it in the middle. I'll make some blind shots.
I'm not for that.
I'll make a blind clip in the middle.
There they are, in the open, Felware.
Get safe.
Scar.
Nice.
They have Ario somewhere here.
I can try to spot him.
I don't.
Actually, Kamel, you should try, but...
I don't.
I got spotted, I got
No,
spotted
we
again.
cannot risk her, bro. Can you push onto line now? We cannot.
I got
guys.
spotted moving here, we got all spotted moving here.
We
Can we not
cannot.
go middle? Is it possible to rush middle or not at all? Because they got TVP crossfire, never mind.
Well, Mojo, you could say that push move's not really working out. They got Amorak on failware. I think he took 2 or 3 shots before going down, but afterwards they just got punished so badly. And the position they're in now, it's a dead zone.
You could say so, definitely. GoHard is much better covering the map. The crossfire they made was too dominant, no matter what Dead Zone thought in one moment when we were listening to their comms. Actually, GoHard was in control all the time. I would say that Algo was even really lucky to pull back.
They got lucky with the Amorak because
I
if
think
that
he
didn't
was
happen,
on fire a bit, and
Yep.
he kind of even bumped in a lighthouse behind him, so he barely ran away. But this rotation was doomed to failure because GoHard was already waiting for them for like 20 seconds before they even came there.
look at the tanks from Oops. They're all in one corner. They're all low HP. They're all getting chipped on. And GoHard, look at the map control they have. I mean, there's no way out here from Oops. The only thing they can do is turn their tanks around and jump into the K8 water because that's about as well as it's going to go.
This is just a casual gathering around the campfire for GoHard now because they really don't have to do absolutely anything to win this round. It's already won. They just need to sit and click like they are.
I think Oops lost the timing when they didn't push Maga and was
Yes.
it Scarium? That's the moment they lost the game, I think.
I think they should have been more aggressive there. I don't know why were they deciding so long to fight. They had advantage. They had Miloš up. It would be brutal. It would be bloody, but they would still have it. We still see that some of the GoHard guys are dying. Of course, the game is still not over. There is a possibility here I mean,
A little bit
miracles do happen.
a little bit too eager from Niall and Zafar there, costing their team.
Niall, you're on a trial here, man. You're on a trial, man.
They're a little bit too greedy there to do the damage, and they got punished for it. They lost 2 tanks, but they still have double the HP. And as long as they don't overcommit at this point, they should be fine. They will be fine.
Yeah, Kaizu and Maga are here in a really good position, and they have a lot of HP. And if they want to play for benefit of their team, they will not suicide like some we've seen recently, but it's all their choice, of course.
Oh, 2 minutes, 17 seconds. It's all on Tubes to make a move here, and it was interesting listening to them, but I really just think that they lost the timing when they didn't kill Scarium and Maga. That's the small opportunity to have, is now Dead Zone gets focused on the crossing. It wasn't even a pun when I said I was literally like just crossfires everywhere. Dead Zone, if you, whatever to call it. And now GoHard tanks casually reloading. 1 minute 55 seconds. Oops. Yeah, 4 tanks. GoHard has 4, but the difference is GoHard is full HP.
I mean, they're all on one shot except Boink. Oh. The game is pretty much soon over. There's not much time left anyway, so one way or another this will be done.
Well, it will be done soon, as now the rest of the GoHard guys, yeah, they're losing a lot of HP here for these kills, but they want to finish them off. Maga gets taken down by Camille. They just need to be careful not to throw it away, because with 1 minute 23 seconds, they're being very, very eager for this damage, and you can see how much it has costed them.
I don't know. It's so a lot of eagerness in GoHard that this almost looks like something personal.
Not sure about that, but
Last time they met, Oops actually beat GoHard. No, GoHard beat Oops 5-2. So they really have nothing to prove here, except to get that #1 spot in the league.
yeah, I guess they just really want that damage, and they're still going forwards. Coca Collapse versus Camille here. Coca Collapse, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for it at this point with 45 seconds left. TVP versus Batchat. Coca Collapse versus Camille. Is he going to go for it? I think he will at one point. I think he'll just make the peak.
Like he can sustain a shot, so he can easily kill Camille.
Well, there has now crossing through the open. Scarium makes short work of him. Coca Collapse is now coming for the commitment. They both miss each other. Coca Collapse to get it on the second shot though, and that is GoHard 2-1. Most of that round was already over, and it was just GoHard making it closer.
Once Oops hesitated, as you said, in that moment.
Yeah, I really think they had. If they killed him right there and then and there, they might have won the round actually.
It won't be 100% they would win.
No, but they would have a much better.
But they would have a better hand there.
Yeah.
It would be risky, it would be bloody, it would be probably...
It would cost them a lot, but
yes,
it
but
was
they would
after
probably make it out, and especially since they would have at least 1 or 2 tanks of GoHard completely out of the fight.
Yeah, they would lose.
Maybe even whole 3 tanks.
They would lose a lot of HP. That's 100% correct, but they would get those 2 tanks, and if they did it right...
I think they would get actually 3 in that process.
Yeah, and Camille here doing an insane amount of damage, 5k, but a lot of this is neglectable. All of the damage pretty much is almost neglectable because of the fact that GoHard went in and gave Oops a lot of HP. I mean, we could see it at one point. Oops was completely surrounded. Niall and Zafar overcommitted. And Mojo, I want you to check something for me. How much damage did, how many shots did Failware take before he got ammo-racked? I'm kind of curious to see.
That was...
Failware.
Clicking to check it out. He was ammo-racked.
2. So first shot ammo-racked him, as in damage to ammo-rack, and the second one detonated it.
Yeah, he pretty much paid the price there. Otherwise, actually,
And he still
this
did
game,
more than 4 players from Oops.
yeah, this game would actually be far, far earlier over.
Yeah,
if
because
that didn't happen.
if they needed to kill Failware, they had to commit even further. We saw what happened to Algo for that
Algo
small
would be down
commitment.
for sure, and Failware might have done 1 or 2 more shots.
Yeah, so I guess Camille ammo-racked Failware because of the damage he had, 4.8.
Still, 4.8 is a decent damage.
Yeah.
So that means that he still did 3k on other people.
Yeah, of course. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, if Failware doesn't get ammo-racked there, I think they need to pay so much for that push, so much.
Still, like by tradition now, Oops should take the next
round, and then GoHard picks up the next 3.
Yeah, that's how the Oops matches sometimes go. We will see. If they pick up the next round, we need to monitor what will happen on the next map.
What is the third map again, Mojo? Remind me.
Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf. I don't know. I've not been a fan of Oops on Himmelsdorf so far. Yesterday
GoHard didn't play the best either, man.
I know, but yesterday with that crossing against Ding.
And GoHard's push on the rails.
Yeah, let's not talk about that because that was disastrous as well. But let's focus on the second half of Cliff here and the tanks. that are going to be used to try and defend for Oops. Yeah, standard lineup and GoHard preferring the RU over the RT again.
Over the RT or over the T49.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Zafar thinks it's a good tank for him. Maybe he's even right, because it does provide him with speed he needs and some sniping opportunities. So it's not like a one-shot, but he can do quite a lot later. On the other hand, very standard lineup from Oops. 5 budgets, TVP and 49. If you say a default manual, that's it.
Well, let's see how Oops approach the second half here on Cliff as they take on the defense against GoHard, who's currently up 2-1 on the attack. And Mojo, this defensive lineup can be played in so many ways, but look where GoHard's going, Mojo.
GoHard, will they snipe? Will they position to snipe?
I think they will push.
It's gonna be interesting. No, they're not gonna snipe. They already passed those positions. It does look like they're gonna really play offensive, but look at also Oops. It's gonna be a clash on a 2-3 line. It looks like that.
It looks exactly like that. There's going to be 3 climbers from GoHard, and let's listen in how this is going to go, because it's going to be a fight.
Silence.
Едь туда уже, едь туда, мага.
I kill insane.
They have fire defeat.
Мне еще не даст?
Да даст,
They have
конечно,
minus
бля,
3
ты
full.
пиздец сколько времени теряешь.
Я влево иду, чтобы на тебя типа что.
Ditch reload.
Я его толкаю, он не даст.
Oh, why didn't we kill insane?
Why do you go behind me, man?
Мы умираем там, нет?
Well, Mojo, that was quick.
That was quite kind of... It ended premature, let's say it like that.
Yeah, that was very quick here between these two. Maga might get Spoink. He does. Melan's with the Ram. Zafar versus 3. I don't think he can do this.
We were doing a video about the Cliff recently. I think it's already out, guys. And we actually showed in one moment why you don't push 1-2 line like that.
It's a little bit of an older meta. And
when you get spotted, you just get wrecked.
And it's not like Oops doesn't go 1-2 line, because they've in the last 3-4 rounds, 4 times they've played minus defense, they've gone there to do that boost, that climb on the backside. So
the alternative, they would probably even do it now.
yeah, they probably would. That's why I'm not surprised there was 3 times going there.
So I'm kind of surprised why did GoHard try to end this round so fast again. But we will see. On Himmelsdorf, it's going to be very crucial who picks up the round.
Well, it's 2-2, Mojo. Now the question becomes, is Oops going to pick up the next round, or is it going to be GoHard? But first, let's take a look at the stats on this very quick round of Cliff. Maga coming in first, but all this damage, I mean, it's just the nice crossfire from Oops, really. They have the quicker rotations into the 1-2 line because of that 4-line position where you can climb very quickly. It takes less time, and they were there much quicker than the boys from GoHard were.
It's one of the boosts used in this season, but look at this. Only Maga and Zafarchik are actually on the first page, and Zafarchik did half of this damage after everyone was dead.
Yeah, and then Kamil got 2 connections in the T49.
This is so similar to the last round, only the last round Kamil had like 4.8k. But everyone else on that page was from the other team.
And in there we have the GoHard guys. Yeah, most of them not getting out a full clip because they died before they got to fire that much.
You could see the biggest regret from that in round. We didn't kill Insane. They actually said it.
But they did kill Insane. He
Maybe
died.
at the end, man. But not when the fight was on.
Well, 2-2 Mojo. So if GoHard picks up this round, GoHard wins 5-2. If Oops pick up this round,
they're going to win the match probably.
But what score?
Oh, who knows? 5-3 probably.
5-3.
I don't think it's going to be 5-2.
Oh, it's going to be
maybe even a
interesting to see.
tiebreaker kind of win.
But now Himmelsdorf. We saw Oops play Himmelsdorf yesterday. It was very aggressive. It was very quick. Worked out once. Didn't work out. It didn't work out the first time. It worked out the second time when they were defending against Ding.
It worked out when they played yesterday against Ding. They in defense pushed over the courtyard, got into the Ding tanks, and slight differences kind of prevailed for them. But when they were attacking, it was super confusing. They tried something like an old tactic. When you push over the hill with the tanks, then you go straight over the cap to the windows next to the upper cap, and you try to fight from there. Which didn't work out, because when Ding pushed in, they just took them out, more or less. It was a bit more longer than that, and it was a bit bloodier. because of kind of a hiccups being performed. But overall, it was not very tactical. Let's say like that.
Nope, but let's take a look at the lineups for the first round here and see what Oops is bringing today. And let's see. So they're going with the same lineup which they played against Ding, if I'm not mistaken.
You can always play mind games with that. And we have a mouse from the GoHard in the defense. We already seen even the defense with couple of mouses on the Himmelsdorf.
It was GoHard as well.
Yes. So they are up to the meta. They're following that kind of things. But much more rotation force here. With those 50Bs and Bachats, they can still play around quite a lot. Probably to respond to Oops. They know that Oops likes to play around fast.
Let's see how Oops is going to play this, because last time they tried to cross the A line. You think they're going to try that again?
We will see. I don't think that maybe they will go like, they will never guess we're going to do it again. You know, that kind of attitude always exists.
Well, Mojo, let's see if Oops can get over that second round hurdle in a second. But not just yet. Mojo getting a little bit too excited there just yet. But GoHard with this lineup. Oops, you think they're going to push the rails, maybe? Because the mouse is always kind of out of the fight.
Yes, but still, you can say mouse is out of the fight, but you don't need mouse for that kind of fight. Like other 5 or 6 tanks are more than enough to stop tanks that are pushing the rail and taking all the damage in their flank. You cannot really utilize all the 7 tanks either. There is no room for them. So that's kind of a problem when you push. So if you position the tanks that you need down the rail well enough, and I think GoHard can do it, then mouse can just come later and be like a Godzilla. You know?
Godzilla?
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Can you cosplay
slowly go and take everyone out.
But yeah, just a reminder here, Mojo, we had Mines already, we had Cliff already, both these teams picking up 1 round on each map.
Tradition. And we will see Himmelsdorf now.
Just as a reminder, don't forget, quickest round so far, 100% won by GoHard on Mines. So if this goes to a tiebreaker, they will get to pick the side.
So
At least
far.
for now.
So far it was the fastest round, but these two can do miracles in that regard.
Yeah, but I don't think the next 2 maps are really going to be super quick, Mojo. Himmelsdorf and then Proco, 2 minutes and 15 seconds.
You never know. Oops managed to suicide in like 2 minutes on Prokhorovka last time.
Mojo, we don't talk about that anymore. We focus on the good things.
Okay.
Just the good things.
Okay. Well, there is then, if they play tactical and slow and try to probe the map, no, it cannot end under 2 minutes, of course.
So this round, Oops or GoHard?
I think actually GoHard this round.
Well, Mojo, let's find out if your prediction is right. And Oops can get over that second round hurdle as we move into our third map here. It's going to be Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
So here we have it, the 5th round between Oops and GoHard. Oops on the attack, GoHard on the defense. Currently all even between these two. And Oops just spreading out, it seems like, in the beginning, Mojo.
It does look like they will just not blindly charge in, which is good for them, of course. Silence is waiting on that position on J9, angling all over so he can get the connection to the 3 line maybe. While you can see how spread are the GoHard tanks. They actually are more concerned about anyone pushing them over the courtyard and such things than anything else.
Mailand already taking connection there in his 50B from an eye leader in that window position. We don't see it used very often, but it's working out so far.
But we have also seen that position from Silence should be able to splash him on the windows, on the walls of that. So he could do a couple of 100 damage to him by just pure splash. We will see will Silence actually be able to do that.
Guess it just happened because he's just on reload. 486 was taken by Annihilator. It could be the T10, but
it must be him because he's the only one in reload.
FV. Well, Milosh was in reload as well, but I'm still guessing 486. Third ring damage though. I mean,
that's annoying.
Could have still been Milosh if he got a nice connection there. But Niall's backed off now. He's going to save. so I don't think he'll be taking any more damage. They kind of know where the FETD is. And what does Oops do now? Because
Well, Oops is obviously playing from that side of the map. I mean, they can always do a late push on the rail. It doesn't look like they will. Honestly, I think they will press over the hill and 8 line eventually.
Camille Mayland here in those 50Bs, just holding for now. Well, they figure out what to do. GoHard obviously has no intention to move whatsoever. Skyrim in the mouse just holding in the base.
Interesting, GoHard has no one on position behind the window on G2, which is kind of standard and normal. They completely gave up on that.
Guess they don't want to be connected by... maybe they want to give Oops a false sense of security. There's nobody there, and Zafar and Fairware can do some free damage on the 8 line, because Zafar, I think, is spotting it, or Nile. Somebody is spotting it.
We've seen positions like that, this very similar to this, played by GoHard before. And I can't remember who they played against, but I know the team actually pushed them in the rail and got annihilated.
Well, Camille Mayland now rotating a little bit. What do you think? What would you do if you were Oops right now? Because I don't think 1-2 line is an option.
They cannot press the courtyard, that's for sure. They have no spotting. So there is only 2 possibilities.
But they will try.
Yeah, they can. If they do that, they need to push the 2 line also in the same time. They cannot push just there, because that's going to be a suicide.
Well, Insane gets a nice connection there on towards Fairware in his 50B. But Collapse is still spotting the second crossing, so they will have the info. But will they be able to help Nile on time is the question.
Yeah, but they have Mouse behind already, and if they start pressing there, the only guy who can really damage him badly is Spoink, and Coca-Cola should do some serious damage on Spoink in that moment. And Mouse is really there, like, he just needs to turn
But they're
around the
spotted
corner.
now. Camille and Mayland are spotted now. Fairware is relocating as well. Let's see if they commit or they go back. It seems like the spot was enough to hold their push for now. Seems like they're just backing off. So I guess they want to go for Nile, but the plan has now been abandoned.
They're still finding ways to damage Nile, which is good for them. But so far, it's not enough. Let's not forget also, they have Silence and Spoink on the hill there. So committing to a push over the courtyard, where you can actually potentially get flanked by 7 tanks, while you have 2 guys with only possible shots, that's never a good thing.
Spoink is just making some blind connections now, trying to hit something. So far, nothing has been hit. Silence, that's off a shot from that big TD as well. He doesn't connect anything. And oops, they've wasted about 4 minutes of time here for not that much damage, it's fair to say. I mean, they didn't really get a severe advantage into this round yet.
Can they use the ability of speed of their team against the Mouse? That's the only thing I can see. They need to know. They know where Skyrim is now. That's very good. The only way they could maybe break this is to play parallel push. Like play parallel push on that K2 position where the Bachat is with 2 or 3 tanks, and the remainder of the force pushing on the F2 corner while they keep 1 guy up.
Camille and Mayland, they're taking speed again. Are they going to go for the crossing delayed? Well, it's starting to look like it. And Coca Collapse actually spotted them both out. Let's see if they take any damage for this. 440 been taken on Camille already. But so far, so good. 608 on towards Mayland. Nile connecting a shot as well. He's now going to back off into the windows. And this is good for GoHard, I'd say, so far.
So far they're doing well, but Camille will now be able to clip out on Nile for free. But the counterattack from their forces will be brutal when it happens.
Mayland and Camille will now be forced to reload. Mayland only having 2 shots. Camille only having 1. Camille takes another connection there. That is from Coca Collapse in the Waffle Dragon. Kaizu has now joined them. And they have the courtyard, but Spoink, he's flanking from behind, Mojo.
Yes, he will be flanking from behind, but Scarium is pushing in with his 2.5k damage, but he is a bit held off. Ooh, Silence picked up a lot of damage there.
Spoink now went through the cap, so that gives the information. He can clip onto the mouse, though. That's the first shot. That was not well aimed, Spoink. That one bounces. The second one connects, so, and he needs every single one to connect at this point. He won't be able to kill the mouse. He shouldn't be able to kill the mouse, and Scarium should be able to do a decent amount of damage. Spoink is now on the reload. He did a nice amount of damage, but it's not enough, and GoHard's going to be happy with them clipping onto the mouse.
Still, GoHard has a tank less. The advantage is still in the, I would say, Oops' hands, because once Spoink comes off the reload, he will be a big problem for them. He still has a lot of HP to deal with.
Insane now trying to connect onto Scarium. He doesn't. He bounces the shot. Milosh now taking damage for this crossing as well. GoHard is starting to get an HP lead here. Insane trying to get the angle onto the mouse, but so far there is none. He can't shoot at that because that will just deflect.
See, Deha down against Maga. Deha is on full HP, so that's not a problem. Maga should be the one worried. Spoink is a joker in this game.
Yeah,
Like, if he can do something, he can maybe break GoHard defenses. He's going straight for position where Kaizu is, but Kaizu is also on 100% HP. So that's another way for him to win.
Spoink is carefully trying to check, but Kaizu, if Spoink commits, he's going to take him out of the game.
3 minutes. Time is ticking, and that's the main issue here, because GoHard is trenched up well now. They have a couple of guys with a lot of HP, one of them being Zafarchik, so I don't know, is that good or bad? That's kind of a tricky one. But the only guy in Oops team with HP is Deha and Spoink. And Spoink, honestly, is not in position to push anyone from there.
He can't really do much from that angle whatsoever. Kaizu's covering Skarium very well, and he's just holding the angle. Just need to make sure that Kaizu doesn't overcommit. Spoink versus Kaizu here. Skarium actually takes a connection there from one of the 50Bs, I think Melant even, or maybe Insane. He needs to just make sure he survives.
I think that Spoink should have left that position and maybe pushed the Deha down on the
HE
rail
onto
long
Skarium
ago.
now, if Insane has any.
100 HP. If he doesn't, someone else will. He's reloading.
I guess he was shooting HE. What does Oops do to get out of this? Because the HP is very even between them now, but they take out Skarium, they'll have a 2-tank lead, and
2 minutes here. Zafarchik actually rotating on the other side, so is Maga. They're completely abandoning the positions around the 1 cap because they know they don't need it anymore. But it does bring Coca-Collapse in a bit of a danger. So
well, he still has Failware behind him covering as well. And I like this position from Collapse right now. One shot and drive off, unless Silence gets...
it's a good position because he can cover 2 lines there, D and E both. He can just drive down and shoot there. So it's a versatile one. I would say GoHard is well guessing that Oops is just gathering up for a push on this side.
Miloš and Maga just trading 1-for-1. Coca-Collapse spots out Deha. Deha takes the connection. That was the position we talked about, and he doesn't take anything in return. Oh, actually, Coca-Collapse, a little bit overextension there. Takes 800, but trades another one onto Deha. Lucky Silence was not ready for that, and now Kaizu, he's waiting there on the corner. Deha seems to be driving into the trap. Kaizu clipping out on him. Kaizu should be able to pick it up. There goes Deha. He goes down. And Oops now still even on HP. Spoink needs to try and make a move, but there's still enough shots available between Kaizu and Zafar to take him out of the game. Coca-Collapse actually goes down. Zafar takes a big amount of damage. Failware here trying to do what he can, but Melant will pick him up, and Oops now still with 6 tanks versus just 3 of GoHard.
They're doing well, they have 5, but there is only 37 seconds, 36, and going down. They still have to deal with 3 tanks, one of them being Kaizu, but Kaizu is on reload, so he can only run. And he will end up in a really peculiar situation.
Well, Kaizu is doing the correct thing. He's going for Spoink now. He needs to kill him. Silence is going from the back corner, but he was spotted driving there. Kaizu needs to keep going now. He has 18 seconds. He needs to survive. It's him and Skarium, and everybody from Oops is pretty much a one-shot. Kaizu picks up Spoink. 12 seconds to survive. Melan needs to pick up Skarium now. He has to. There we go. Skarium goes down, but 6 seconds left for Kaizu to survive. Insane's the one-shot, and he's going to be the only one to get into position. Kaizu needs to aim on Insane. 1 second. There we go. Time runs out, and GoHard just about pick up the round here. That was
What a
close.
lucky round for them at the end.
I mean...
1 second.
Yeah, but Kaizu should have always killed Insane coming around the corner, though.
Yes, but still, 1 second saved them. I can't even believe the amount of panic on that T-Speak in that moment.
Looked like they were in control most of the round, but then, you know, the tank advantage from Oops just came into effect as they cleared out the rail side very quickly.
I think that movement from Zafar to actually abandon his teammates and just go join Kaizu was bad because he didn't help him in any way. He didn't help clip Deha, and he definitely didn't help his teammates to defend the rail well. So I believe that was flawed in that moment, but that was the only thing. Everything else was pretty much good. And the only thing that Oops can be sorry of, because they were debating for so long what to do.
Too long.
Too long. They were waiting for 2 or 3 minutes and there was no action on the map.
Well, didn't work out for them. Now let's take a look at the stats from the last round. That was close. That was very, very close. Maybe even highlight worthy almost at one point. But Spoink there with a nice amount of damage. Miloš as well in that T10. So that's insane, actually.
Spoink did quite a bit there, but still, I don't know. I had a feeling that some of the Oops guys were out of the fight in some moments.
Here we can see the second page, and it's full of GoHard players. Maga Kaizu actually winning the game there by killing Spoink. Annihilator actually doing a decent amount of damage, but Failware and Zafar, for the amount of time they were alive, didn't really get to, you know, assert their will on this round. And Silence, 0 damage in the FV. That is also very crucial.
Brutal. That's brutal. That's really brutal and almost unbelievable for a game that lasted this long, that he couldn't connect a single shot. Also, a moment when Spoink was clipping on mouse, and we saw that he didn't pen one pure shell from the back.
That's because he fired too quickly and the
Yes.
mouse armor was on such an angle and he didn't really connect well.
At the end of the game, it really mattered because mouse would be by far dead.
He'd be on a one-shot pretty much the entire round, wouldn't be able to peek.
They would HE him already, and he would be dead. And that would give them quite some openings.
Well, Mojo, GoHard won the 3rd round. Oops is going to lose 5-2.
There is a large possibility if you watch any kind of past traditions here. But I'm hoping that Oops guys will actually manage to stick it together and maybe go out of it.
You have to stick to tradition, Mojo. Tradition is very important.
Tradition is very important. Try to grow over it.
We'll have to find out. But Oops gets to defend now. I wouldn't be surprised if they play something similar like what they played against Ding, like something super aggressive into the face of GoHard.
But if that happens, GoHard will probably be ready. I mean, they should have watched the matches, and something like that is bound to fail if you're expecting it.
Hopefully. I mean, GoHard played that same style of minds, and Oops and she seems to be prepared for it.
Well, we will see. Because that would be quite a nonsense to lose to. Not now. I mean, it would be even super risky from Oops to play something like that.
Mojo, let's take a look and see if they are going to play something similar to what they played yesterday. Double T10, Kranwagen.
No.
Different, because yesterday they played with an Emil too.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you can move on with this, but I don't think so. This looks like a more standard defensive setup. GoHard on the other side, they have a Kranwagen, T10 and FV stage 2. Yeah, they can really pretty much play identically as Zoop's last games. Like rather slow and then approach.
Let's see what Oops decides to go for, because double T10 still kind of says you want to take an aggressive position somewhere, doesn't it?
Yes, but you can also position them different. You can use them behind the window, you can use them on the rail. There is a lot of positions you can use the T10 with. Of course, one of the main reasons people used to take them is just to rush, so it was a big giveaway. But I believe GoHard will start around probably by making crossfire to make sure it doesn't happen.
Well, Mojo, we're going to have to find out as we're just about to get ready in the next round here on Himmelsdorf. So let's find out and see what's going to happen as we have the second half of Himmelsdorf underway here. GoHard leading 3-2 against Oops defending. GoHard attacking. And Mojo, one thing to note, like the roster changes Oops is bringing out. We've seen Camille go down. We've seen Insane go down. We've seen the Dead Zone go down. Now Deja is down.
They're just exchanging play, but that's the same like Kazna. When you have too many players, I guess you're still trying to make something.
Look at this defense here coming out from Oops Mojo. It's very aggressive, and how many tanks are going towards the hill?
5 of them is going toward the hill. I guess one of them might even push a Kranwagen up. Are they?
They're gonna make a trap here, you think?
I
guess they're gonna use the FVTD to block off the Kranwagen from Annihilator. So he can't peek like we've seen him do before. But look how many tanks. Ooh, that first connection, nice from Maga. But once Nile gets into position, it's going to be a 7v4 on the hill, Mojo.
It's not good. It's not good. This is like 4 guys plus Silence is getting there. And Kranwagen is just wrecking them. Like, what's going on here?
Look what's happening. Annihilator connecting already his entire clip onto the boards from Oops. And now they might think that they have an overmatch. But no, they do not. Melan finds Skarian, but there's so many more tanks here from GoHard available. And if they group up and if they push down, Oops is going to feel it because they are going to go. Sapphire is going to go in first. The rest of the boys from Oops from GoHard should follow quickly. Skarian's going in. Milosh is on reload. He's going to go down. He sees 7 tanks from GoHard come down this hill. Milosh is dead. Spoink and the rest of Oops is not going to fare much better in this one.
This is something like I think one of the Suba guys started on the start of the season, tried, and it didn't work out. It's just bad. Look at the Silence, the damage he picked up. Wow!
Toka collapse connected. Silence did not. And now Oops is being bullied out of positions by 7 tanks from GoHard. Yes, the HP is even, but the 50 Bs from Oops, they're on reload. Guys who picks up Silence, 3 tanks down. Still 7 alive from GoHard here, who continue the pressure. And Oops, I don't know if this was the correct choice into this round.
Look at the GoHard, man. They smell the blood. The charge of the cavalry is on. They're just using the Pac-Man tactic. They're just heating them up. This is done.
They have the reloads available to them as well.
Why?
Camille might get Maga, but no, he's flipping onto Failware now. Look at the damage, he goes down. And it's still 7 tanks left standing from GoHard. Oops, you tried something into this round, but GoHard seemed to expect it.
I think when you want to play aggressive all the time, it has a kind of a drawbacks because you have to really think what you're doing, and this was really silly play. I can only say that. It was so one-sided, and it would so rely that enemy team would send 1 or 2 tanks up and not more. And it looks like GoHard, I don't know, like they had an insight in their playbook, man, and they had just all the tanks. You could see the surprise and, whoa, here they are, we can farm them.
Insane already left the battle. You could see that his tank just pointing at the wall was already looking towards the next round.
Unbelievable.
Well, this was, I guess they were expecting GoHard to do something they've done before. We're just sending like the Kranwagen and the FV on the hill.
It only makes sense, as you said, if FVTD was waiting behind on the corner, so when Nile peeks with his Kranwagen, he gets shot. But they just send them as a food, and Nile made a good choice. He shot only a Butcher.
I thought it might work out if Silence was behind and Rex Nile, Rex's gun, Rex some crew as well, but he's watching the 8 line, and Nile was like...
And those 2 T10s on the other side of the map, they're completely out. Out of the fight, useless.
Well,
so strange tactics. Like it was so RNG based. Like what will GoHard do?
I guess GoHard played it before with Kran and FV on the hill, just that. But this time they were going all on the hill.
Yeah, it's really peculiar, but still, they were genuinely surprised. You could see when they saw those tanks, because even in the moment of that push, they had 2 mediums on reload. But all they had to do is just run away, and I mean, it was not 2 mediums. 1 medium Maga, and Nile went on reload after clipping on them. But still, look at this. Again, 0 damage with FV silence.
They knew that the tanks from Oops were not all in position, because remember, they spotted Insane in the beginning of the game. They knew he wasn't there.
They knew they had the numbers, and also they already did the damage. They had all the advantage they needed in this world.
And the good part from GoHard is you have to talk about they kept pushing. That's the thing. You need to keep pushing. And they did. You could see Kaizu and the rest following quickly after. Keep pushing. They knew the 50 Bs were on reload. They didn't stop. And it's important not to stop, to keep going.
This is really sad to say, but this reminded me just on a bad random game, man. Like, seriously, this just reminded me of one of those when you get overwhelmed with your team, you have a lesser number of tanks, and they just go whoop.
I mean, like when you're like with 3 guys on a flank, and one of the enemies is like, you know what, let's go aggressive, and the rest of the boys are like, oh, okay, let's follow, and kills everybody. Yeah, did feel a little bit like that. Well, Mojo, traditions, they're important.
I mean, next map is Prokhorovka, and GoHard is defending. It's super hard to break defense on Prokhorovka these days with use of STRV. I mean, there is always one way to break it. Like GoHard may do something silly as suicide. There's always a potential in that.
Well,
doesn't look good for Oops.
No, it doesn't actually. Losing that last round, like in the fashion they lost it in, it's just
I think they're going to be super tilted.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's demoralizing, and they need to stay calm. And I don't know if they can.
It just doesn't look good, and especially even on Cliff when they lost that round. But they at least regained it because GoHard pretty much suicided in them, so they had a morale boost there. Then
they could have been
such a close loss on the first round of Himmelsdorf when they needed 1 second to fire up and kill Kaizu.
And then losing like this.
This is like just spiraling down.
Spiraling down. But let's take a look at the lineups and see if they can spiral upwards. You never know. Prokhorovka, Mojo, anything surprising?
As we expected, STRV in defense for GoHard and Ru for spotting. So rather, I don't know, lately we've seen this lineup quite a lot with 113, I7 going to the middle, STRV in the forest, and Bachats roaming around. Oops, on the other hand, playing with 2 Grilles. This is something we've seen them play several times already. Last time it worked magnificently.
Will it work this time, though?
I don't know. They pressed against Ding, and Ding actually did everything so Oops can win the game.
Yeah, I remember that. That was Interesting.
Yes, positions of thing were not the best.
Well, Mortar, that's fine enough. If Oops can break the curse, GoHard is going to close it out 5-2 and stick to traditions as we move into our next map. It's going to be Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
Oops needs to make it happen right now, right here. 4-2 for GoHard, who are on match point, and they get to play on the defense, and Oops on the attack, and a bit of a choo-choo train here.
Yeah, a bit of push here for Coca-Cola so he can faster get on his position, while Oops is playing aggressive toward the village side, as they did even in the last time when they played it. Algo doing super aggressive spot on the middle, crossing toward the village, but that's also a big giveaway.
It's more than just getting them in position. They're going to push 1-2 line very quickly. We've seen this before. This could give them so much information so quickly. Look how quickly they're moving down that 1-2 line. The I-7 constantly on top speed at this point.
This is super aggressive. This is actually really nice play by them. Also, Zafarczyk is spotting the other side. He saw Algo, and he saw that Algo turned toward the village, which is a big giveaway when you are a spotter. That means that he has someone behind. There is no one spotted here, so they will really soon turn and trying to close in on the map. Now we will have to see, will Spoink be able to run away? Will Mayland connect some shots with his grille?
They could be closed in so quickly over here because they are not in the greatest position.
Dead Zone and Insane might actually be in a big trouble here.
Well, the boys from Oops just lining up. Coca collapse, taking some damage, so he needs to be careful on his IS-7, but that gives away the game, though. It does tell where are the bad shots. He knows exactly now in what area, and Zafar is trying to make some spotting runs. He won't see them, but they know. They know exactly where Oops is.
They know also that at least 2 or 3 bad shots are there, because someone has to be spotting, and it's not Algo. Because
Look at Zafar, he's going more aggressive. If he spots out anybody...
Spoink. Spoink. He's going to find Spoink. That's all he needs. They just want to kill him and trade Zafar for Spoink. Perfect.
Spoink is pushing in though against Zafar. He gets struck, gets held already. Spoink, let's see how much damage he takes. There comes the fire from the back lines. He takes 1.4. One more shot will do the job. Can Spoink go down before he gets the far check? One more shot needs to come in towards the bad shot. I think he might just about get the far. He does. Now he goes down. That was not a trade. That was not good for Oops.
That's not good, because Zafar can always ping to his teammates what to do while he is dead in his light. That's even beneficial, we saw many times over, while they lost one of the tier 10 tanks. So this is gonna be a big problem. Algo will be maybe a pesky tank shooting from A0 when they start the cap pressure, but pesky is all he is.
Now GoHard is going to start the rotation here. They know they have nothing more to gain in this southern side of the map. They're going to go back north. Skyrim's already going to go cover off that A7 position in Oops. They might get on the cap here, but I don't think they have the time to pull this off.
You to see, Annihilator is still around the middle. I was expecting him to actually go maybe toward the A6, but he didn't want to. He will stay with his tanks and push toward the middle eventually. We have the double cap pressure here going on, but that's just temporary because they will have to abandon it.
37 seconds. Kaizu is going to be crossing over. Miloš needs to be careful because that SDRV with the accuracy will ping him if he tries to peek on Skyrim. And 29 seconds to pull this cap off. Algo might be protecting the north, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. And look, Failware Maga, if they push in, Milan's going to be out of the fight.
It might be a counter push right by the Oops tanks over the middle here where Miloš is, because that's the only thing that can actually buy them some time. Algo will have to run away because there is no one who can actually protect him well.
Fairware Maga now reaching the middle with Annihilator as well. They're going to go for the counter push here on towards Miloš. He's going to be the target. Failware comes over, takes the shot, and now Miloš in the I7. He's in trouble. He's getting clipped out by 2 patches. Look at the damage he's taken. Even more. Miloš minus 1.3. He's going down. In the meantime, Insane in his batch shot is taking a lot as well. They lose Miloš, and still GoHard with control in this round. They might lose Failware for it, but they have the positions.
They have the positions. They were using these buildings very well in their protection here. Insane is on low HP. He has only 1 round left. As I said, Algo will be pesky, but he's just a light and he is dead. The only good fortune here for Oops is that Kaizu actually has a broken ammo rack.
Kaizu has a broken ammo rack indeed, but Collapse is still behind the buildings. The Dead Zone is trying to run, but Skyrim is coming in with the 1-1-3. And how are they going to deal with that? He's now in the water side. Coca Collapse connects onto Camille. And the boys from Oops are not doing any trades in the meantime. Yes, Kaizu takes one more shot, but he can go save. Skarium will now push him to the dead zone. Melan's stuck behind a building. He's taking damage. Insane is stuck. Camille is stuck. And it's going to be GoHard. It should be GoHard at this point.
It's over. Tradition is here. They have only 2 Gorillas that are able to shoot now. Both Insane and Dead Zone are in reload. Meland is lost. Dead Zone is still in reload. Camille is pretty much alone. This is it. 5-2, man. Again.
Tradition for Oops to go down 5-2, and it's going to happen this time as well as Maga comes in to close it out. He rams Camille to dead. Now just the Dead Zone versus 5 tanks. He might get 1, he might get 2, but it won't matter as Oops stick to Tradition. GoHard's going to close it out for the 2nd time. 5-2 here against Oops, and they are going to keep that #1 spot at least for now.
Unbelievable. Oops has at the moment 3 victories and 5 defeats. All 5 defeats are 5-2 result. All.
Twice against GoHard 5-2 as well.
Unbelievable.